Hi, Shelly.
Hi, Fraser.
Today we're doing my reaction to the Booker Longlist, which I know nothing about. I literally woke up, what, 30 minutes ago or something like that. I
hmm
showered, I had an orange. That's all I've done today. That's it. I don't know
Yes.
anything.
And
I,
in the meantime, the Booker long
yes.
list was announced. And
Yes.
I know.
You know everything. I
I
know
do know
nothing.
everything. Yes.
And you
Yes.
have a plan.
I do have a plan. Okay. So there are a handful of books that we predicted correctly. So I think we're going to start there because I feel great about that. And
Yeah.
then there are some books that you didn't correctly predict, but you've read, not me, and enjoyed from what I remember. And then there are a couple of books that you read and didn't like. One was a DNF for you.
Uh,
Yeah. And then there are the ones that we probably won't linger on are the six books that we didn't predict and I haven't heard of, but I have little summaries of those. So,
Excellent.
all right,
Excellent.
are you ready?
I am. I am.
Okay, Graeme Burnet's case study made it.
Yes, got it. And that was an outside prediction too, right?
Was
Well,
it? Did you?
I think Kieran also did it, but he didn't read it, right? So
He
he
didn't
was he
read it.
was shooting in the dark, and I was like, this is actually good though. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. So you read it and then decided that it beat out all of your other Booker potentials.
exactly.
So the next one is one that I got correct, and it's
Yes.
Audrey McGee's The Colony.
Yes.
Yes, I know, which you read as well.
High
High five!
five
I
over the
know,
video.
it's so exciting. I'm like, yes. So yeah, this is a fantastic, quiet novel about two outsiders converging together on a remote island in Ireland in 1979. So
Yes.
yes. Okay, the third book I think you're going to be extremely pleased by because it's one of your favorite books of all time. And it
Oh.
was a last minute addition or like realization because it's Percival Everett's The Trees.
Yes. That's excellent. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Yeah, like most people, it wasn't on the radar because I wasn't aware of the UK imprint. And so I was just like, oh, the trees got done dirty last year, but then it made up for it this year. This year's like,
Yeah.
Fraser, we have something for you. We have a gift.
I know. I know, which is very, very, very exciting. And yeah, so I knew so those were the three that we got correct. One book that you enjoyed but didn't make your favorites is actually a genre fiction, and it's Karen Joy Fowler's Booth.
Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
It
So I
was
thought
pretty
that was
good.
fascinating. And then two books that you read that I think you rated 3 stars.
Yeah.
So it was Hernan Diaz Trust.
Yeah, I thought that it would be on here. People are
Why?
basic.
Why? What's wrong? What is?
it it is it's an interesting book because what it has to say is worthwhile, but the prose work for me was not that great. And it is deliberately tropey and bad in the first half of it, which is addressed in the latter half, necessarily making the first half a bit of a slog.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah,
okay,
for me, I was like, yeah, like it barely cashed the check at the end kind of deal.
okay.
But most
Hmm.
people are high on it. Like Kieran right now is like, woohoo.
Okay. Um, I'm like I've been kind of in my own Booker zone, so unfortunately I've not been. Besides talking to you and a couple of other people, I've not been looking around at Booker videos. So I've been sort of shamefully only staying in my lane. Um, okay, so the next book that you read, and I believe you thought it was just all right, but it's Claire Keegan's Small Things Like These.
Oh yeah, that was fine.
Huh. It's a short book, correct?
Yeah, it was a good winter read.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
it
Interesting.
I could see why they would pick it because it's about a sort of seedy history of Ireland with the I can't remember what it's called. Laundries, I think it is what it's called.
Okay.
But it's basically like a moral dilemma that a character faces, and directly shines a light on something that happened in Ireland that I wasn't aware of at all, actually.
Oh,
So
interesting. Okay. Huh. All right. So those are the ones. Oh wait, and then there was one that you really didn't like, and it's going to be NoViolet Beluya's Glory.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't hate it. It's just that it would take a while to explain, but with hyperphantasia with my brain, everything that I read is like a kind of a movie in my head. And because
Sure.
it's an animal farm allegory, but they're doing human things, it just didn't work in my brain. Like I was just like, animals can't do that.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know.
Yeah.
I was looking at the summary. There's a couple things that turned me off to it. One of which is that you said that you really disliked it. And the second was that it's kind of long, and it seems like it's a rather bizarre book, and I'm not always down for bizarreness in really long formats.
Yeah. It's satire.
It's just not my gig. It's not my gig.
In.
Right. Yeah. All right. Now to the books that were off my radar.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is one that I'm familiar with, and it's Elizabeth Strout's O'William.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know that's a third or fourth book in a series, right? So that's why it wasn't really on my radar. I did like the first book.
Okay.
But I didn't proceed with it.
Yeah,
because it was like,
go ahead.
It's just it was hard to get on my Libby. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have her.
Oh.
I have Olive Again and Olive Strout by Olive Kittredge and Olive Again by this author. So I have her. I just don't. I haven't read them yet. Yeah. I haven't read anything by her, and I know that she's like a powerhouse writer who often gets recognized with awards.
Yeah.
And then so then there were the books that I've not heard of. So Alan Gardner's Treacle Walker.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of that.
No. Okay, so Treacle Walker is a stunning fusion of myth and folklore, an exploration of the fluidity of time. It's supposed to have vivid storytelling. It's supposed to be introspective with young minds. I don't know. I don't know really what it's 152 pages.
It's a good amount of that. If it sets them out.
Yeah, I know. So I'm interested as to what I've never even heard of this author, Alan Garner. Have you?
I don't think so. It doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. Let's see. The next on the list is Maddie Mortimer's Maps of Our Spectacular Bodies.
Oh yeah, I have this on hold at the library. It just came out recently, last month, I think, something like that. It looks really interesting, but really bleak. It's about a woman, I think, who's dealing with like a cancer diagnosis in the family or with her. Can't remember which.
Yes, I think you're right. It does have to do with like grief and illness and death and like their journey as a family, this family.
I actually requested the library order this specifically for me a couple of weeks ago. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is Maddie Mortimer's debut work. So, excellent. And it's noted as lyrical. So I tend to like lyrical and a passionate coming of age story. A meditation on illness and death and a kaleidoscope journey through one woman's life. So
that sounds good. Yeah, I
know, right? It sounds good. And then let me see. Oh, this is going. Oh, see, but then I'm like, oh, it's 488 pages. I'm like, wait a second. I can wait from that.
I know that some of it is with the layout actually, because Mark Nash did a review on this and really liked it, and there was unconventional formatting stuff happening, like pages with just one letter on it and like stuff like that going on. I know there's some stuff like that. So it might. Yeah, I think it's a little bit, but not too heavy. I think Mark Nash was hoping it would be more so, So maybe it'll be a good straddle point, which is maybe why they selected it in some way. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I know that they tend to, I feel like the booker likes to choose literature that is sometimes doing something a little bit different with its structure, just to highlight people that are being, I think, adventurous. I don't know. But yeah, I don't. So this next, the next book is by a Sri Lankan author.
Oh.
And yeah, it's Shehan Karunatilaka. It's called The Seven Moons of Malan Almeida.
Oh, cool.
Okay, yeah, I have no, it's like on Goodreads, there is no reviews kind of thing.
Oh, is it not out?
I don't know. I found it on Book Depository. And it said that it was, oh yeah, it's not out yet. So August 4th, 2022 is when it's going to come out. It's published by Sort of Books. So I think a teeny tiny little publisher.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a searing satire set amid a murderous mayhem of Sri Lanka beset by civil war. That's what it's about.
Oh, that
set in 1990.
That is interesting because it must have beat out The Singing Fish then, because The Singing Fish is pretty similar. It's not a satire, but it is targeting those exact same events by a Sri Lankan author. Or a generational one. I believe she's second generation, something like that. So
and then
that's
even
interesting
like
that they came out the same year.
Yeah, about the same event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is The Seven Moons of Maali Almeida. So I'm wondering if it's instead of like the seven lives of, it's going to be the seven moons of. So like maybe the different lives of something. Anyways, but the little blurb, it says Colombo in 1990. So that's where it's set in the time, the setting. And then the main character, Maali, is a war photographer, gambler, and closeted gay who has woken up dead in what seems like a celestial visa office.
Wow. Wild.
His dismembered body is sinking in the serene lake, and he has no idea who killed him. So now he's like witnessing his own death.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm interested in that. Actually, okay. Yeah, I'm down.
I'm like selling you on the book, even though I'm not sure about it myself. I'm like, oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. Well, first you were like satire, and I was like, I don't know. But then everything else, I was like, yes, hot buttons. Hot buttons are being pushed. So
yeah. I'll save the one that actually sounds really good to me for last. But the second to last book to discuss is Leila Mottley's Nightcrawling.
Oh yeah. I have this.
Do you know about this? Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's a book club. It's an Oprah book club edition. Interesting. Sometimes I really love her picks, to be honest.
Yeah. And it's from an author who wrote it when she was 17, I believe. But that's all I know. And also that Scallydandron link about the books loved it. So
interesting. Okay. This looks like it's about a young lady and her brother that are scraping in the East Oakland apartment complex in high school. I'm not really getting like what it looks like. It's a coming of age story. And then one of the blurbs is, while Marcus, her brother, clings to his dream of rap stardom, Kiara hunts for work to pay their rent, which has become doubled, and to keep a 9-year-old boy next door abandoned from his mother safe and fed. So It sounds like living hard in East Oakland in an apartment and trying to make it while you're in high school and taking care of people younger than you.
Yeah, being the parental figure when you shouldn't have to be type deal.
Yeah, but you said it was written when she was 17?
That's what I heard, yeah. I think she's 19 now, but wrote it when she was 17, and it's supposed to be really strong, especially for her age.
Interesting. It kind of reminds me of S.E. Hinton's The Outsiders, which she wrote at 17 or like 18. And that's a great book.
I haven't read that because my school wanted us to read it, and back then Fraser was like, don't tell me what to do.
That's a great book, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm like just telling you. And it's like also one of those just weird things where she wrote one, the author herself, S.E. Hinton, wrote one really, really sort of honest and fantastic book, and then sort of never really wrote anything nearly as good. But just, yeah, anyways. So the book that I'm actually interested in, and I'm wondering if you've heard of, is Shelby Wynn Schwartz's After Sappho.
Oh, yes.
Oh, tell me.
I'm very excited about this book, actually. I I know that it's sort of like a intertextuality investigation of Sappho's work, I think, in which it takes a number of pieces and recontextualizes it maybe into a narrative or something. I heard it's really good, but it's a book that I couldn't get here yet, but I've been like hot to get it.
Yeah. Okay, so this one has a more concise. The other one had the summary. I was like, I don't know what to take from this. It's just giving me all the plot points, I felt like. But this instead is more, it says that it's a debut novel, centuries after the Greek poet penned her lyric verse, and that it's going to be playing off of, sorry, I lost my page. So ignited by the same muse, a myriad of women break from their small predetermined lives for seemingly desperate paths. And then it has all these time periods and women that they're following, and it has to do with art and queer identities.
Yeah.
And narratives coming together. That sounds perfect. Oh, and it was blurbed by Lucy Ellman of Ducks Newburyport.
Excellent.
Which I haven't read.
I'm fairly sure Ben from Doom Apocalypse loved it and has been talking about it for like a few months. I'm pretty sure he was sent an advance copy or something like that. So he's just been whetting appetites all over the place.
Its expected publication date is January 24th. Maybe that's the American version. We're going to have to look into this. Don't listen to me about this.
The UK one is out. You can get it from Book Depository.
Okay, interesting. And it's 288 pages, and it was published by Liverite. So anyways, it seems if Lucy Ellman blurbed it, she's kind of an indie author that did really well, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this is an indie book or an under the radar book. Yeah. But yeah, that was one that I was really excited about. The themes, the ideas, like going to the Greeks, multiple storylines. It's not too long. Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds like a buddy read.
Oh, really? What are you suggesting? No, I won't be daft.
Oh, that's a pretty good long list. Hey, that's strong.
Yeah, it's a strong long list.
Especially since the one that I, hated was just, if my brain was different, I would probably like it. It was just the entire time. I remember the animals were like drinking tea and putting in honey and stuff, and they had hooves, and I was like, how do?
Did you see the more recent Winnie the Pooh? Where they're like anthropomorph. Okay, so if you watch the more recent Winnie the Pooh, where they're it's in it's live. What is it? Live motion or whatever? It's not like
live action.
Live action. There you go. And like when they're eating, it's like this mix of anthropomorphized animals, but they're also doing they're like real though, and they sometimes still have their like animal like qualities. It was this weird, strange marriage of animal and human, but they were also anthropomorphized, but they didn't quite lose all of their animalness. It was very interesting.
Maybe I'll watch that and see if my brain can hook onto it and then try Glory again.
But you're also talking about Tigger and Pooh Bear, who have I think more of not hooves.
Yeah. This one is more, I remember it's a satirical analysis of the absurdism of a very specific regime in African history, right? So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, for all the books, it is for the hated ones or whatever, the 1 stars, of which this project has tripled my DNFs for the year. The one that I just couldn't handle because my brain couldn't handle it. That's above the other ones where I legitimately was like, this is bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, true. So I'm glad, and I would be curious to see if in the coming weeks what happens to the shape of the long list. There's always the way that we react, and then the way that the internet reacts, and how that sort of bounces off what we end up doing and thinking about other books, and kind of shaping our opinions about this prize and the long list and all of that. So
totally.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, I'm so glad to have told you.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on the channel and telling me and formatting everything and taking so much time to do this.
It was no problem. It was fun. It was super great.
Yeah. Well, I hope to see you again soon.
I'm sure you will. I have my own booker plan, so come to my channel and we can discuss my booker plan.
Excellent.
But otherwise, I'll see you later. I'm sure we'll see you again.
Yes. See you later. Bye.
Bye.